y'all look good. You all look like voters. Like voters. Where is Mayor, the Honorable Wellington Webb? He's right there, okay. All right, any other radicals, listen, hold on a second. Some of y'all, this is probably not for the news part, but this is, you know how they do the warm-up show? Yeah. Like the warm-up show? Some of y'all are no on 2-0. Make some notes, so if you're no on 2-0, let me hear it. Yeah. Where's that one guy with the radical sign, the SOS sign and all that? Where's
It's right there.
No, you come up here with that sign and hold it like behind us. You're like, it's cool. No, we're fine. It's fine. Who has the cardboard? Who has the cardboard sign? Where's that at?
Now that's a real radical.
Okay. Stand right behind those candidates. Would you be willing to come and stand with us with that sign? Yeah, stand. Yeah, come on over here, Maria, and Al, come on over here. Now, it's good to see the no on 2-0 folks, but Brother Jeff is actually hell no on 2-0. Okay. I'm gonna start my live stuff real quick. Let me, I'm loading up this load. I'm live here, I think. It's what you call multitasking.
Does anybody want to come sit down? We've got a couple seats up there. Would anybody like to sit? Come join us up front, please. We love it.
Tell me if that looks focused.
Come on down.
It needs to go out a little.
Look good?
It needs to zoom out a little bit.
If it stops, hit that button again for me. Somebody.
All right.
We're recording.
Yeah.
2 more candidates are on the way. So this is the warm-up show, everybody. We got to get you fired up and ready to go. We really do. Because we've got to get out this vote. Everybody, we must vote. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
We must vote. This is a very critical time in this city. I call it the mile high income city, and I've talked to a lot of candidates and a lot of individuals, and it's not hyperbole. A lot of individuals are losing the ability to live here. And just imagine when ordinary people can't afford to live here, that means corporate interests and big money, they don't live here either. They just collect their rents and remittance and you send it across town, across another state, probably out of the country. But this city should be for people, wouldn't you agree? People should be able to live here. And I'm talking about live here without saying the majority of their income, whether it's fixed or otherwise, goes to keep a roof over their head. We should be able to afford not only a roof on our head, but good food, good education, and guess what else we should have? Open space. We should have open space. And some of you are wondering why we are, and I am, no on 2-0. It's because just go down Welton Street right now. You remember when we had a wonderful, beautiful view of the Rocky Mountains and nature. Now you've got these concrete canyons going up everywhere, and it takes you an hour or 2 hours just to get from Colorado Boulevard to Hampton or to Monaco, and that's unacceptable. And when we do that, I just want to be able to breathe. Can I get some fresh air and open space? Is that too much to ask? So this is bringing us all together. And here's what I want you all to think about when we talk about community. Everyone in here represents this great city. And you also say that you have a say in this city. And you're saying that open space is more important than more concrete. Is that right? No, do it like the State of the Union address. Open space is better than another plot of concrete. Is that right? There we go. There we go. That's what we're talking about. And so we'll get into the details because there are individuals who may be on the fence about yes or no. And the reason you're on the fence about yes or no is not because of the equation is so hard to figure out, but you're being deceived with marketing campaigns. You're being deceived with marketing campaigns. And what do I mean by that? I'm pretty sure by now you've got 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, or 100 leaflets or mailers in your mailbox saying the opposite of what we're saying. Ask yourself, who's paying for that? Who's paying for all of those flyers and all of those mailers? Well, I can tell you, those of us who are no on 2-0, there are hundreds of us who have made small contributions to let our voice be heard. When you're hearing no on 2-0, it's the voice of the masses. It's the voice of the community. It's the voice of many. Guess how many individuals have contributed to the yes on 2-0 campaign? One. Look it up. The numbers are out. One donor has paid for all of that marketing, and we know that that donor is West Side Developers. Why would one individual go and spend all of that money to say that they're getting your opinion when actually they're not getting your opinion? They are in partnership with the city and county of Denver and the mayor to make sure that our conservation easement goes away, and they have to do it before Mayor Hancock goes away because they don't know who the next leader of the city will be. We, under the great vision of the Honorable Wellington E. Webb, who you're hopeful in just a moment, you'll hear from him in just a moment. When I say visionary, he saw this coming. Yes. He saw concrete and developers and outside interests having a sway over our future. And what did he do? And what did we agree with the Honorable Wellington E. Webb as it relates to what could be done? We purchased a conservation easement. A conservation easement, as West Side and any other developer knows, is a legal asset. And we spent up to $2 million for this legal asset, saying that we want open space and we want it into perpetuity. And so now you're being tricked into, is this a decision about a golf course? This is not a decision about a golf course. However, if it is a decision about a golf course, I want to ask West Side Developers, did you purchase a golf course? And if you did, you're responsible for what you purchased. Don't put it off on me. I want my conservation easement recognized, and that's why we're here saying no on 2-0. There's a second dynamic attached to this. When I look at the advertising for the other side of this issue, it offers everything we want in the world. It's as if someone walked up to you and said, "What do you want?" And when you said what you want, they put it on the flyer and said, "We're going to give you that too." And then they went over here and said, "Well, what do you want?" And you said, this is what I want. And they said, and we're going to give you that also. And then you said, what do you want? They said, well, we're going to give you that also. And for someone who's giving us all of that, why don't you put your name on the flyers that you're putting out that says Westside has promised us all this? Why do you put all of those great names of individual organizations that have trusted legacies in our communities? They got strong reputations. Why are you putting them on your flyer as opposed to saying Westside has promised us all of these different things?
Yes.
The reason you're not on there is because you're deceitful, for one.
Yes.
You're not a good partner, for two.
Yes.
And if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, I just had a conversation with Sisters of Color United for Education, and they said that you're a horrible partner and you won't pay the bills based on the development and the remodeling of the Park Hill Clubhouse. You moved them out, and then when the word began to come out, you wanted to go to court and get a gag order. Is that the type of partner we want in community? Well, guess what? The judge said we have a right to speak and to share our stories. Westside lost on that, and they're going to lose on this as well. That being said, we're standing with a host of candidates that are no on 2-0. A host of candidates that are no on 2-0. And I hope you speak to them because they are very well informed on their position and they're standing on principle. We want candidates to be elected that will stand on principle, and I'm glad to be standing with these candidates right now who stand on principle. You hear and you've heard us, and I'm glad to stand with you. What I would like to do right now is bring forth so you can get more information. I would like for you to hear from the Honorable Wellington E. Webb, and give him a round of applause. And then we're going to open up for questions and answers. The Honorable Wellington E. Webb.
Reminds me of when I got started. A long time ago, wearing blue jeans and a little black guy around my neck, in a blue jean jacket, knocking on doors. Let me say to all of you, you got rejected for the movie part. You know, there's a Tyler Perry movie out. And you read about part of it in the Denver Post. And the Denver Post told you that the West Side development is a bad deal for the city. It's a good deal for the developer because the developer is in cahoots with the city administration, and they together have determined what you want. And they're looking for actors to be a part of this script, this movie script that they're putting out to sell Denver on. There's also an underlying theme in it, and I'll get to that in a second. So thank goodness for the Denver Post coming out, no on 2. Let's give the Denver Post a round of applause. I normally don't do that. They didn't endorse me twice. And I didn't need it. They finally did the third time. I also want to give congratulations to Westward.
Yes.
I want to give congratulations to Westward as well. Because they saw the Tyler Perry movie script too. And they said this script doesn't work for Denver. Because you've got people investing that you've never talked about before. We had to learn from Westwood what had been rumored on the street before, that Robert Smith grew up here in Denver, good guy. But he's invested $8 million into the O'Halloran Group. He's also invested into West Side. So if there wasn't anything wrong with his investment, why didn't he state it? What's he trying to hide by not putting out that he's $11 million into this investment? What is West Side trying to hide when, you know, like some of the candidates running for mayor and for, you know, I went to Manual, I learned my math on the street. And what they told me was, if you have a piece of property worth $6 million, and you pay $23 million for it, and it also has a conservation easement on it, what are you getting out of that? You could never sell that deal to no student that graduated from Manual High School. Because they said there must be a deal. It must be, this is like a movie script. Everybody's got a part, except all of you, and me, and those up here. Because we read the script, we didn't like it. We didn't like it because this isn't about open space. And sometimes the press doesn't even get that right. They repeat what the flyer says, that West Side is gonna have 100 acres of open space. They don't have that. Even they admit they only have 60 acres of open space. The rest is a retainage pond. And when there's a flood, or when there's hail or rain, you can float the Titanic in it. There's so much out there. There is no retainage pond in the city and county of Denver that has housing, basketball courts, volleyball courts, and nothing else on it. That's part of this fantasy land production that being put out on this movie script. Thank God for Westwood. The only thing they missed is where does West Side get their money? Hedge fund in New York. They skipped that part. And then to the Denverite. Congratulations to the Denverite. Denverite pointed out very clearly, they tried to do business with West Side. They tried to do business at the Park Hill facility, and they had to go to court. And what happened when they went to court? The same thing happened to them when they went to court. They were told that they needed to shut up, be quiet, let the lawyers deal with it. The lawyers said they should only be reporting fact, and the fact is determined by what West Side lawyers say, which is opinion, not fact. But to the sisters of color, they stood up to be counted the same way that Paul Lopez stood up to be counted when West Side lawyers were down in his office, tried to intimidate his staff to draft the West Side position to put in the blue book of saying what is fact and what's opinion from the city council meeting. Now, I'm not saying anything. I don't know the reason they picked on Paul because he's Latino, or they picked on sisters of color because they're Latina, starting to look like a pattern. Of course, I wouldn't say that in public, but so you've got the Denver Post, you have Westward, and you have the Denverite, all saying the same thing. There's something smelly about this deal. This is not about parks and open space. This is about a bad investment that a guy made to buy some property that his lawyers didn't even tell him that there was a conservation easement on it. He should have fired the lawyers, unless he knew something that you and I don't know. This is where I go back to my manual. $24 million for a piece of property that owns $6 million? You couldn't sell that to my grandkids unless you told them there's something else in it. You know, like eat all your peas and carrots, you get dessert later on.
Good analogy.
Some of you don't know about peas and carrots. So let me say this to all of you. It is so important that right through here, Wilma and I are making phone calls. You need to do the same. Because there's so much larceny and deceitfulness and outright lies going on, people putting on Facebook, well, if we vote no, what will happen? People saying, well, it will stay a golf course for the next 20 years. The reality of what's so sad is the folks that want the athletic facilities can build it on a conservation easement. It's allowed because it's recreational activity.
Yes.
So the James Colemans who come out and say, well, this is for the kids, this ain't for the kids. This is for James and his program. And I love James, but you gotta call it what's right and what's wrong. You can put athletic facilities on a conservation easement space. You don't have to vote no. You have to vote no, but they don't have to say that that's gonna be what happens if they lose it. What happens if they lose it, they have to go back, deal with the next mayor and the next city council. And maybe the next city council would do what Councilwoman Sita Baca did and Councilman Cashman did, is say, this deal doesn't smell right. Track the money. Follow the money. Always follow the money. Dick Young, I was taught that by you and other lawyers older than me that said, follow the money. Because if you follow the money, you find out who's really behind these deals that are going on. Where does Westside get their money? Why is Robert Smith investing and won't tell nobody? He grew up here. If he wants a grocery store, if he's got $1 billion, I guess he could buy one. If you like his development on Weldon Street, you can look down there and say, how's that doing? How's that graded? Let's not be silly about this. This is also about Denver's future.
Yes.
And last time I said something with the little charts, I had to get one of my grandkids, now she gotta go on Twitter every day to see who's talking about it. Because the last time I said, Chris Hansen voted for the conservation easement in the legislature, then he got a check from Westside, and he voted no.
Wow.
I didn't say anything that's not different than what he did. So they went on Twitter dogging me out. Then there's Kelly voted, supports Westside. And Mike Johnson, who's supposed to have a sense of the community, said he's with Westside. But what's worse, again, this is Manual Street math again. Look at who you play with. Look at who your partners are. Look at who's delivering your literature. Look who's putting literature in your car door when you leave Loyola or leave Shorter. I think it said Mike Johnston and Westside. Now, how is he gonna be Westside's best friend and your best friend too?
Wow.
That's a Malcolm statement. You can't be best friends of both at the same time. And what do they have in common? You know, when I ran for mayor, I was lucky if I had $100,000. I think I did by the end. I started off, I had $500. Mike has one contributor that donates $1 million. 2 or 3 donating $750. So to me, this issue of the Park Hill Golf Course pledge to turn it into a park is much larger than the Park Hill Golf Course. This is about we as people in Denver. Maybe people back east think we're just Western country bumpkins that fell off the turnip truck. That they can give somebody $1 million and we don't care. Or they can give somebody else $8 million, we don't care. We're for sale, everybody's for sale. Well, I'm just here to tell you, I'm not for sale. I don't believe you're for sale. I remember walking down the street like I was taught by my grandmother, I'd rather walk down the street with 10 cents in my pocket, but maintain my integrity, my character, and my dignity. And the choice is yours. It's about how many people that you can contact through your networks, through your contact lists, and tell them, this is a bad deal for the taxpayers. If you don't believe me, read the Denver Post. If you don't believe the Denver Post, read Westward. If you don't believe Westward, read the Denverite. If you don't believe them, believe your own common sense. Why would somebody spend $24 million to buy something worth $6? That doesn't make any sense in anybody's logic. Or follow the money. Who's getting what? I've seen good business deals, I've seen bad business deals, and I've seen people get ripped off. This is not the East Coast. We don't want East Coast politics in Denver. We don't want $1 million contributors. We don't want silent investors. We don't want people trying to buy us out by saying they're for one thing and they're really for something else. And what is the affordable housing that they're talking about?
It's a hoax.
Yes,
12, a hoax, 12 stories,
yep,
8 stories?
yep. No
That
single
sound like
family-
projects to
No
me.
single family homes, that's right.
I grew up one of those too, in Globeville. Second day there, my brother Ron he called and said the dirt in the bathtub was moved. Some of you laughing, but that's true. The roaches were moving in the bathtub. Then if you ever know anything about the projects, then you know when you move out and they bring the big bomb in, the bomb blows everything out, kills everybody in your unit, and all it does is to shoot them to the units on either side of it. Then my brothers got mad because I walked from Globeville to my grandmother's house on 32nd and Williams. So I'm just saying, let's be smart. We're Denverites. We're Colorado folk. We're not going to accept some pig in a poke. This is about our future. This election is about the future of Denver. It's about whether we're going to let developers buy us, either on the Park Hill Golf Course Park or in the mayor's race. Because the two are tied together now. They weren't before. They're tied together now. Brother Jeff, that was another thing about that Twitter that bothered me. I didn't know what the guy was talking about. First of all, I didn't know how to get Twitter. I had to call get my granddaughter to do that for me. And then he was talking about all the business deals I did. I wasn't running for mayor. I was a candidate, didn't have no money, that was walking the city. Whatever deals I did was after I left public office. So if you want to try to compare me with that, I wish somebody, I couldn't even wrote $1 million check. So let me close on this. We got 2.5 weeks to fool the experts. We got 2.5 weeks to fool the experts. So they got lined up over here. They got the best lobbyists in town. They got Maria. They got Kim Musetti. They got Marcus. They got Marcus Partner. They got Josh Heflin. They got R.D. Seawall. They got Phil Workman. I don't know who they don't have. They got Trey Rogers. They got people. Yeah, I mentioned him. They got people in Park Hill. They hired people in West Denver to steal signs, between 12 and 2, late at nights when they do the stealing. But we have people whose only interest is in the future of our city. That's what makes us different. What makes us different is we don't have no financial gain to get out of this. What we have is preserving our park space, because if they do it in Northeast Denver to us, which they consider weaker, They're gonna do it in southeast, southwest, and northwest, and they would never even dream about doing this in Wash Park.
Right.
They wouldn't think about it. And they wouldn't think about doing it in Berkeley or Bear Valley either. But they figure you folks, me, we ain't got enough power to stop nothing. But we're gonna show them that's not the case. Are you willing to stand up and show the folks around this United States of America that you can't come to Denver and buy us? You dealt with tribes and cowboys and Indians and wagon trains. And we've even got Doc Holliday buried in Glenwood Springs. We've got everything. We're not going to be bought by somebody flashing some money around saying that we got something for you. We got something for you. We got something for you. They still own it. You're just a tenant. You're just a tenant. It's not about home ownership. It's about the overseer maintaining the plantation. Wow. And I'm too old to be on the plantation. I'm too old for that. You gonna stick with us to win this thing? Yeah. You can't buy us in Denver. You cannot buy us in Denver. We're not for sale. We got people running for mayor and city council standing behind us. 8 to 9 people running for city council and running for mayor have said they're opposed to 2-0. And the people that said they're for 2-0, they're not here. Because they've already dipped into the water. That's big business. You got business on this side, community on the other. So let's send a message. We've got April 4th, the day that King was assassinated. And we're gonna stand up in the memory of Dr. King and say, West Side, we're gonna kick your ass.
That sounds like a trigger alert needed to be read. We need a trigger alert. Trigger alert. But we're going to open up for a couple of questions for the media. But before we do, what I'd like for you to have an opportunity to hear from is the president of Sisters of Color United for Education. And the reason this is a very important message from Sisters of Color United for Education, because there was almost an opportunity where they weren't able to talk to you. However, based on the judge saying, no, the people have a voice, they have an opportunity to share their story, and I'm going to make sure that they are allowed to share their story. Today, we get to hear the story of Sisters of Color United for Education, who's also the president is voting no on 2-0.
This isn't unexpected at all. Thank you, Brother Jeff. I was just walking by because I live here in the East Side, and I saw some signs, so I thought I would meander on in. I'm sure there's lots of questions, but basically we were getting ready to build a community center inside of the Park Hill Golf Course, and we made it beautiful. Because one thing that community deserves is transparency and beautiful spaces so that they can heal and become advocates for themselves and their families. It became very clear that apparently my lack of edit button, which is probably from some of my family, honestly, but after a meeting where we talked about actually teaching community how to advocate, our relationship there got into some very muddy waters, if you will, because we were there not only to put in a food share, a clinic, after-school programs, an elder program, cultural dance. You know, we really made that space something that was very beautiful, and we were never allowed to move in. And what this has really taught us is always, yes, watch who you're playing with. You would think I would know that as somebody who's been a sexual health educator for 30 years. Sisters of Color is Colorado's first and oldest promotora program. We have helped communities across the state of Colorado, but also in Mexico, Guatemala, Nairobi, Uganda. So, you know, if anything, we've really realized over, you know, the last 30 years is that if we're not going to advocate for ourselves, no one is going to do it for us. We tried very nicely to get money back many, many times. And the fact is that we were met with a lot of disrespect and quite frankly, a lot of patriarchy. I can't wait till more transcripts come out because those are a good read. So if you haven't read the deposition, there's lots of Google Share drives with it out there. But I think this is also an opportunity for community to really realize that we have to be on top of what is going on, and also that we demand transparency, especially in public spaces or spaces that are supposed to be developed in the name of equity and inclusion. I actually wasn't going to say anything, so I was just going to stand right there, and I would like to definitely, I agree with you very, very much with your last statement. I can't say that, but please, I thank you, because I definitely feel that in my heart. So hopefully, everybody, if you have questions, please feel free. I will be here. I also walk around here a lot, so you can reach out to us. You can look at our website at socue.org. But please ask me questions if you have them, and keep on fighting the good fight. Thank you.
And thank you for being bold in your willingness to stand up and share your story when many think that we're supposed to be quiet. And so thank you for that. Just quickly, what I like to do, we're going to break in just a moment. We do have a small business that will be feeding us, so make sure you get a plate before you go and meet and mingle. Give them a round of applause over there cooking. There's no charge. However, if you'd like to tip, that would be great. We'll put out a hat, etc.
Can you introduce people in there?
Yes. What I'd like for you to do is to just come, say your name, what you're running for, and say I'm no on 2-0, or you might be like, Brother Jeff, I'm hell no on 2-0. But
hi everyone, my name is Shannon Hoffman. I'm a candidate for Denver City Council for District 10, and I am no on 2-0.
Thank you everybody for being here in the illustrious District 9. I'm the current City Councilwoman of District 9. And the only no on 2-0 in my race.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Tony Pickford. I'm running to represent Southeast Denver's District 4. I am the only candidate in my race that is a firm no on 2-0.
Good afternoon. My name is Al Gardner. I'm running for mayor of Denver, and it's N-O. Just no.
My name is Ian Thomas Tafoya, and I'm a no on 2-0 for the next 7 generations. We have so much work to do to reduce our heat island, clean up the air, protect our water. No on 2-0, make sure this conservation easement moves forward. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Leslie Twarogowski. I'm running for Denver City Council District 8, the very district where the Park Hill Golf Course stands. I want to thank you, Brother Jeff, for giving me space. I started waving the red flag about this horrible deal in 2019. So thank you very much for listening, and thank you all for being here today.
Hey, I'm Penfield Tate, running for City Council. I am the only candidate in my race who has been no from day one. Even when Clinton started trying to run a funny deal, I've been no since then, and I'll be no to the last flag flies. This is a bad deal. Let's just put it to rest with this no vote.
Hey everyone, I'm Leslie Herod and I'm running to be Denver's next mayor, and I am a firm no on 2-0. And I want to thank the Honorable Wellington Webb for supporting me in my race for mayor. And what is additional to your movie script that they forget to tell us is no, it does not have to be a golf course, but 2, that even if this passes, which it won't, Penfield reminds us that it's going to be in litigation for how many years? How many years? So don't let them lie to you that this is going to become affordable housing and automatically change all of the issues we have in the city. It's a lie. This only benefits the developers. No on 2-0.
My name is Sarah Parody. I'm running for city council at large. There are 2 seats. I was not around when Senator Tate started being a no on 2-0. There was no 2-0. But I am the only other at-large candidate who is a no on 2-0.
Hello, my name is Nick Campion. I'm running for City Council District 7. Sorry for being late, but I'm a no on 2-0.
That being said, we want to open up if there are any questions from the media first, and then we'll go with comments from the audience. Any questions from the media?
No on M and N and O.
All right. What I want to encourage everyone to do is, yes, I want you to realize not only will we win, we will win again. Because we've already won before. We will win again. And they keep moving the goalposts every time we win. And so we will win again. I'm going to ask everyone, now that you know that the funders and donors of the other side of this argument, they have won. That means even their loudest voices that are out here saying that we should vote the other way, they haven't even contributed to the movement that they say is so very important. That's telling. They have not put their own money into the issue that they are so firmly in support of. We should listen to that because they have one donor. All of us and all of us together will win. And so when you leave, I want you to contact 10 or 15 individuals and let them know, people you know, and take signs, and make sure you're planting this out because this is a people movement. We're going people over profit. And with that being said, Jackie, I think you have a question or a comment.
Well, actually, just to let you know that there's a few more candidates either because of sickness or a prior commitment.
Would you like to come and say that right here, please?
All right, I'm going to try to name it. If I forget anybody, please tell me. Okay, so we've got Eric Clark, who's running for Denver Auditor. He's a no on 2-0. Yay! Okay. Tyler Drum, who's running for
District
8. Thank you. We've got, Tiffany Cottle is another one.
Yeah.
And right, yes, and Lisa Calderon. Yes.
Chantel.
One more. Chantel Lewis is District 8, a no on 2-0.
Yes, Chantel Lewis, yes, and Terry Roberts. Long day.
Go Lisa!
Go Leslie!
Everybody together. No on 2-0. 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 We want to thank each of you candidates and everyone. Please make sure that you get a plate, get some food. We want to make sure that you get some signs and you support these incredible candidates. Thank you for being here. And right now it is an opportunity to meet and greet some wonderful individuals that would like your support, and I believe they are worthy of such. Let's give everyone a round of applause.